Hi everyone, this is Karak from Angry Centaur Gaming. You may know me from my new hit single, Approved Nun Rap Battle. Today I'm coming to you direct from the safest place on earth, New Orleans, or however the 50 ways you want to pronounce it, and I'm bringing you a review of a game that came out 20 years ago, but also comes out on the 15th of this October. Time travel? I think not. No, this is the remake, remaster, rejigger, redo of Gabriel Knight Sins of the Father, a game that launched point-and-click adventures into the very heart of gamers 20 years ago, and with the help of a couple others, single-handedly allowed gamers like me to live vicariously through the womanizing shoes of Gabriel Knight, a man whose one-liners for picking up women sound a little bit like they were created on a speaking spell. But how do you argue with results? This dude was the original creator of the mystery method of dating, but here in the game it's all about the dark, sinister world of voodoo and apocalyptic drummers. Wrapped in a mystery of ritual killings that have stumped the police, Gabriel Knight, a small-time bookstore owner and author and big-time flirt, decided he wants to write a book about the murders. But as novelists are wont to do, he gets in over his head. How does a 20-year-old game get remastered? Well, let's break it down and see, shall we? First up is graphics. As a remastered point-and-click, you can't expect the Last of Us type of graphics fidelity, and the improvements here, especially when you see the older pictures within the extra content, really do show a marked, almost insane increase. Sure, it's still not the highest polygon count in a game, but the improvement is vast, and the game can at least sit on the same casting couch as Erica Reed and the Broken Sword duo. Well, maybe on the end of the couch like last, but still, it's there on the couch. Characters look okay to good for the most part. The backgrounds have some really good movement to them, and the overall detail in some areas is mind-numbingly detailed and filled with enough clickables that one of those old ladies at an airport slot machine would be super happy. Overall, I was totally satisfied with the way things looked. I do have to say that one of the characters seemed a bit oddly shaped, as in giving Dolly Parton a run for her money, but other than that, anatomy-wise, they all looked good. The world's a moody, weepy place, and New Orleans' atmosphere is done as respectfully as it can be in a game where you're stuck basically walking on the world. All in all, I would say it was well done. That brings us to sound, music, and voice. The sounds are done well, with the ambient playing of musicians in a park to the cluttered hubbub of a police office, all sounding realistic. It's all ambient and fairly low-key, as many point-and-click adventures are, but overall, what was there was done well, and it's obvious they spent time where it mattered. Atmospheric, but not intrusive, this is the way it should be with these kind of games anyway. That brings us to music. Very hit and miss. At times it was like I invited a rock and roll band to a jazz bar, and other times I was assaulted with what sounded like a parade big band when it should have been ambient synth. In all cases the music was good, but it just didn't fit every time. Other times it did, like when I visited old Granny's house and the piano kicked in, or the subtle synth of a crime scene to remind me that this game wasn't all about Gabriel trying to uncover the way into the next lady's panties, but was instead about murder, murder most foul. Overall, it was good with some misplaced pieces. The largest offender was the almost Russian military cadence that played within the police department. I get it's a police department, but damn, almost expected Chinese missile parades with everybody just clicking their heels. The music there was oddly placed and ill-fitting. Ill-fitting enough to jar me from what I was doing a couple of times, so hit and miss here. Lastly, voice. Overall, excellent. Word of warning that this was made 20 years ago, so many stereotypes that we might not be accustomed to blatantly seeing in games is actually in this game. It dates the game, but it doesn't harm it. The narrator is effective, but it's odd having a random narrator talk about what Gabriel's feeling versus Gabriel himself. But that's just something that we're accustomed to now that isn't mimicked in this game. Hearing Miss Cleo tell me that Gabriel shouldn't red hand his assistant's ass was both funny and a bit uncomfortable for all involved. It was like having your mom catch you grabbing your girlfriend's butt. Oddly discomforting. Gabriel is effectively Nicolas Cage as well. No, seriously, this dude sounds almost exactly like some of the bad accents Nicolas Cage has brought to his roles, and had me laughing hard when he first talked. The accent begins to grow on you later on, but for me, he will always remain a mixture of Ghost Rider and that dude from Con Air. It was hilarious. NPCs are really voiced well, and though the writing can be spotty at times, overall attention to emotion was usually paid, and rarely did anybody split from their accent to make you wonder why the New Jersey guy was playing the native from the land of jambalaya. Gameplay. Day by day, Gabriel goes through the world trying to discover the secret identities behind the group of murderers using traditional voodoo trappings in their works. He investigates people, travels to locations, sticks his nose where it doesn't belong, and hits on every chick within a 4-screen radius like a walking penis pump. He is hilarious to play at times, a walking HR disaster for anyone. But 20 years ago, this kind of thing was far more usual, and I loved playing him. As you travel, you perform a very large assortment of actions within the game, and it's a good reminder of how older games had you thinking far more than some current games do. One second you have to just stand still and watch things, and the other second you have to travel to a totally different area and use spyglasses to look somewhere else. Another time you have to call random numbers to try to find a lead, and hey, you may even take the part of a very dirty-minded priest once in a while. It was a complete joy to replay, and the freedom of the character, or at least the conceived freedom that he has enjoyed, was once again an eye-opener compared to many more common games. The fact that he's a complete horn dog and the pointer in the game should just be a penis shouldn't impact most gamers. It's done in a fairly tongue-in-cheek way, even if it's probably his tongue and someone else's cheek. The game's puzzles are fairly well-rounded, and the hint system is done in a series of levels, which means not much is hinted to you without you really wanting to know. I did find that one or two of the logistical steps to find some information was fairly difficult for me to piece together in my own mind, but almost all point-and-click adventure games have that one puzzle that has you scratching your head wondering why anyone thought it made sense. So what does Gabriel Knight Sins of the Father 20th Anniversary Edition get right, aside from an incredibly long name? The upgrade is visible throughout the entire game and brings it into the sphere of current games and allows those who never got a chance to play the game a chance now. The voices are spectacular, even if Nicolas Cage has somehow possessed the main character. The story and writing are fairly well done, and the mystery itself is actually super interesting. The lecture. I won't spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it or played it, but that was excellent, and it ignored the trappings most games have of feeling that all their players are short attention span idiots that need anything handed to them in a pithy sentence or two, like this review. That is awesome. I really enjoyed that particular part of the game. So what does Gabriel Knight Sins of the Father's 20th Anniversary Edition get wrong? The music is really hit and miss, guys. Sorry. 1 to 2 of the steps to find out information boggled my mind in their abstractness. Mix the cuckoo clock with the contraceptive gel and you get a robot, that kind of thing. So I rate games on a buy, wait for sale, rent, or sacrifice the game to Shuga, god of Jimmy, Superfly, Snooka rating scale. This is a buy. Listen, it has a misstep here or there, either in the surprisingly creepy uncle way that Gabriel sometimes talks to people, or in the fact that the music can be jarringly out of character with a location. It is still the same mystery game through and through and offers a tantalizing fun tale of blood, chicken parts, and sex with noble ladies of high standing that might also be psychotic killers. Nothing worth doing is worth doing without risk, and I say here that $16.99 on Steam is just the right level of risk for someone to take. So that's it. The review's complete, just like my filing of my sexual harassment report. If you liked the video, hit like. If you disliked it, hit dislike. If you can share it, great. If you don't, then expect to see a chicken head on your doorstep tomorrow. Peace out.